Welcome, everybody, to AEZ, All Elite Zone, the Canadian edition. We're back with the boys. Breezy, what up?
What's going on, brother? Happy Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Well, it's going to be released on Saturday, so we're in a time warp anyway, right? It's a time warp. Matt, what's going on?
Hey guys, good to be back. Hope everyone's having a good start to the short week.
Yeah, we love these missing days on the schedule.
Yeah.
Uri, Zach, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, nothing, just hanging out, doing my thing.
Righteous. Justin?
I have a Taylor Swift sales code. Ladies, hit me up.
Nice. Nice. You're brilliant. So here we go. We're back, and we're going to start off right away, getting the Dynamite from this week. A whole hell of a lot on Dynamite 200 from Tampa. First match runs right into it. Jericho and Takeshita with Don Callis versus Sammy and Danny.
I loved it.
Everything. Tell me, Zach.
Yeah, I liked the story. I liked particularly I liked the finish. Just because Jericho was like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you doing, Don? And then he went for the pin, which, I mean, he's got to win the match. You're supposed to go for the pin. But I'm excited for this coming Wednesday for the meeting. Because I just thought the whole match was really good. I thought the execution was good. The story was good. I have no complaints. I thought that was awesome.
Jericho, when he puts on his acting face for wrestling, it works. Maybe not for movies and TV, but for wrestling, I believe. Smoked with a bat takes the W.
Actually,
yeah.
No, I was going to say, I kind of like how Jericho is not even sure, because Jericho can be slimy and conniving, and it's funny that he's almost like Don Callis is almost too like slimy and conniving for him. It's funny to watch. It's kind of neat because he's kind of playing a little bit of the baby face, that kind of confused, not sure. He's losing his friends. It's kind of interesting where they're going with Jericho because it's making it like you're not really sure. Is he going to join? He's not going to join. So I think they're doing a pretty good job of that so far. And I like Don Callis. I like when he's involved in stuff. I think he's good, and he's so over as a heel with the crowd. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited. That's why I'm excited for the meeting, because like you don't know if I have a feeling that he might just turn on all of them, and I don't know for sure. It's awesome.
Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we got the meeting this week. It's going to be entertaining. We follow that up with Jack Perry coming to the ring, the FTW champion. Still looking like a douche, still running the show. Who wants to hit this one? Let's get someone on camera. Breezy, tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm still digging the Jack Perry thing. I mean, we talked about it last week with where they're going with these ECW legends. And I forget, it might have been Drummond who called it last week that it was going to be RVD. But sure enough, there he goes. And when Walk played.
Oh, yes.
I mean, am I the only one who marked out? I hope not, boys.
I lost it.
That shit was amazing. Throwback to the ECW days. I loved every minute of it. I don't like how they're doing it on Dynamite instead of All In, but maybe they have something better planned for All In, hopefully. We'll see where they go with it. But yeah, the whole segment was excellent. And I just loved hearing Walk and seeing RVD in the ring. That was fantastic.
Well, don't you think it's just leading up to being Hook? It's going to be Hook and Perry in London?
I'd be okay with that because, like you were saying last week, it's all about putting a young guy over, hopefully, as the end result, right? Whether it's in All In or All Out, one of the two. Let's do it. But I think RVD would have been a huge reaction in Wembley.
I think RVD would have been a reaction. I think Bully would have been a reaction. I hope they're not done here. I hope they just use in my opinion. I mean, yes, he's RVD. He's a legend. He should get that. But I mean, take RVD on, have a match on Dynamite next week. Somebody else, get him in, get him out, then lead for the hook at the pay-per-view. I would like it to go that way.
I don't. I enjoyed RVD coming out. I loved Walk. I popped for that. I'm excited for the match. RVD can still go. I think my only thing about this was I'm pretty sure on Rampage or Collision they aired like a little promo for the confrontation with Jerry Lynn and Jack Perry, and I'm pretty sure Jerry Lynn was in a ring taking or giving an arm drag. So then he comes on Wednesday and says he can't wrestle because there's screws and metal in his neck. So I thought that was kind of the way that they executed that was kind of dumb. But other than that, I'm fine with RVD being there. If he's going to put Jack Perry over, then awesome.
During our Dynamite reaction, I said that RVD is my childhood. Jeff Hardy and RVD is my childhood, and all was marked out for RVD. It's hard not to mark out for RVD, and he uses original ECW theme song that we haven't heard in years. So yeah, I like that entire thing. But I really would like to see a Dynamite at the Hammerstein Ballroom and do like a whole ECW type thing one day. Because there's a lot of ECW's originals still alive, which AEW has already a couple of them signed. Jericho, Malenko, Lynn. Yeah, I thought this thing was pretty good.
I like your idea. I just don't believe it. Then again, I saw Necro Butcher in New York, right?
Yeah,
he was old as shit. Oh, he was awesome.
I also think Hammerstein Ballroom might be too small for that at this point.
Well, it would just be like a special.
I think the ECW reunion thing has been overdone.
Mm-hmm.
And all those guys that were on those shows almost 20 years ago are now way too old.
Yeah, you can really only list 5 that can still go.
I think you got Jericho, you got Van Dam, you got Bully, and you got Dreamer. And that.
What about Tanaka?
Pardon?
Tanaka.
So,
Rhino.
Doesn't WWE still own the rights to ECW?
Yeah, but I mean, even TNA did their own thing, right?
Yeah, because TNA did a similar type thing to that. It was it called Hard Justice?
Yeah, Hardcore Justice. Yeah,
Hardcore Justice. Yeah, because
Hardcore Justice. You know where there wasn't any justice in the next match? It was anything goes. It was Moxley. It was Penta. It was Beretta. My God, are we getting a Beretta push? Because he is looking clean this week.
I thought maybe they were getting a Beretta push until we got to Rampage.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, it was a good match. It was fun. I think that's what it was meant to be, was to be fun. It wasn't meant to really... it was weird that it was a no DQ type stipulation and the match wasn't for anything. But other than that, I thought it was cool. It was a fun match on a 200th episode.
Yeah, I thought it was
good. It's not bad. It was that was what it was. It's just I think there's been too many hardcore matches involving the same people in the last month, though. My only concern about that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Getting Moxley in the same matches, me and some of my friends are talking about it, and in the last month, Moxley's been in the same type of matches. He did Blood and Guts, and then 2 weeks after he does a 3-way. Then a Rampage, he does a parking lot match. Yeah, I agree with Justin on that the same people are doing the same type of matches over and over and over again.
Well, don't you start to pigeonhole yourself? I mean, if he keeps on busting over and people are just going to start to assume or want Moxley to bleed all the time, kind of like tables, everyone just starts cheering tables, for any kind of anything goes match. So, you just got to calm that down. I know I've brought it up before. We kind of talked about it in the past episodes, but it's going to lose its luster. You know what I mean? And if he keeps on busting open every week.
But I mean, I hear you on this. It does seem like a lot, but if we go back in time, we got these in spurts of a lot. We go through ECW, it was a stop and go. we get to Urai. What was Onita's promotion? FMW.
Yeah, but I don't think that like FMW was like a thing in Japan that none of us really got, and I don't think that would translate over here.
No, I'm saying how it existed in a spurt.
Right. Well.
And I mean, CZW had a good run. It's not the same as it was.
No, I think that's more wrestling based now, I think, than it is hardcore based.
Absolutely. So if this is just a spot of it and this is where we're going to see it, I kind of
We lost you.
Are you still there, Dust?
I don't think it's going to just be a spurt though, because Tony Khan has admitted he loves ECW, so I think it's just going to be a thing where he's going to throw one of these matches in there every couple of weeks because that's just what he was a fan of.
I like the
thing about ECW was, yeah, you went in knowing that there were no rules. It didn't mean that like every match was like that, and I know AEW doesn't do it that way. But like when you could watch Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, and they could have a 25-minute match, and most of it would just be wrestling, and they brought a chair in, and that was the end of it. It wasn't like this is a no DQ match, and next week they're just gonna have a regular match. So like I when you put a label on it, I agree with Matt where you are kind of pigeonholing some of these guys.
Yeah, very, very true. When you're getting these hardcore matches, at least once a week, in this case twice a week, it becomes redundant to a certain degree. Like, I enjoyed the match. Do we all remember who won the match? Was it Trent?
Yeah, Trent.
Yeah.
I think he won, but to Urai's point earlier, it's like, oh yeah, give him a win on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden, all that momentum's gone on Friday. What the hell was the point of that? So again, it was a fun match, lots of spots, lots of weapons, and yeah.
I really hope they continue this rivalry because they destroyed Sue's minivan. You can't let that go. So they're gonna have to get even with the BCC over that.
We will get to that through our Rampage piece. Let's run right in to the ring as we hear MJF. How did everybody love the Better Than You Baby segment?
Oh, I love that we're getting that match at All In. At least now we have a main event for the biggest show in the company's history, right, boys? I mean, something to look forward to in that degree.
Yeah, so what happened? I missed that part.
So
MJF comes in, does the whole ADD riddle boy gimmick, runs that back, tries to get the crowd to back him, does the whole scumbag, I'm still your scumbag, and real face push. Out comes Adam Cole. He agrees to give him a match.
Yeah.
So here was my thing on it. Why is it every time MJF is doing this kind of babyface turn, he tells the same story?
Well, at least this time it's not like a gauntlet thing.
No, but the last time he was kind of doing the babyface thing, I think was when he came back and he was going against Moxley. He told the same exact story about getting hit with quarters. If your thing is sympathy, you got to have more than one story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same exact promo he cut 7 months ago.
Maybe you got hit with this. Maybe you got hit with quarters more than once. You don't know.
Oh yeah. I think that's my only thing is I want to have sympathy for him and I do, but like I want to hear more of his story so I can get more invested. If you're gonna tell me the same story all the time, then it's like, well, were you like, you know, is this true now? Because you're telling the same story every time.
I like they built this up for months, which it kind of seemed like this was going to be a match on All In, but I'm glad how they built it up for a few. I don't know, they've been feuding since it's been a few months. I'm glad that and it's translated in the ratings and merch sales because their shirt is like number one right now, so it's definitely paying off. And I'm really excited for this main event because we've seen, someone really mad that someone got a title shot. Roderick Strong, out of all people, got pretty upset.
That was pretty funny to watch, though. His breakdown, my God, did he go emotional city?
Yeah, how about the interaction
Yeah.
with the Kingdom, though?
Yeah,
Who called that?
Yeah, you were all over it.
I've been wanting to see them play, and it's almost time. I mean, Roddy's an okay one to take down, get the sympathy card, come back, do his thing. He's good at that, so let's see that.
Did you see where Bebe, when he gave Max the hug, he did the stab in the back thing like he did to Roddy?
yeah.
Those subtle little hints, they keep playing with it. They're toying with my emotion, boys, because I want this guy back. I want the heel Adam Cole.
Do you guys
That is absolute best when he's the top heel.
Do you guys think the Kingdom could reunite? But we all think that Roderick Strong's end up turning on Adam Cole, but Roderick Strong ends up helping Cole win, and then the Kingdom reunite with Cole and Strong.
Yeah, they could go so many ways with it, and I'm very intrigued. Even if Max or Adam turn heel prior to All In, if it happens before the show, then whatever. That makes me want to see the main event even more. If it happens at the show, then that's all the more reason to turn it back around and do the rematch at All Out. So I mean, they have multiple options. It's going to be fun to watch where they go with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna put the Kingdom on TV more regularly and not have them do Ring of Honor, then I think putting them with Cole, regardless if Roderick's there or not, would be suited better for them to get more exposure.
So I want to open this because it's a fun little conversation me and Urai's been having. Urai, please don't answer. Breezy,
Yo,
do you feel Better Than You Bebe is a tag team?
yes,
Matt, do you feel they are a legitimate tag team?
It's kind of like the Mega Powers. It's just like they wanted you to believe it, but then it's not going to last. So, no, I think it's just.
Oh, I like it. I like where you're standing. Okay, stay there. Let's go over to Justin. Are they a tag team?
I think that's a hard question to answer. Because I mean, anyone who has a tag title shot, I would consider a tag team. But yeah, I kind of, the Matt said there, it is kind of a mega powery there, where you're kind of just waiting for the turn to come. And it's just now the question isn't is MJF going to turn? It's who's going to turn. So I'm gonna say no.
All right, Connor, where do you feel? Is Better Than You Bebe a legitimate tag team?
I feel like they could be with their matches, their attire, their entrance, but I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think it's gonna last at the end of it. Kind of the same thought that Matt had.
All right, so I feel they are a tag team because when you have matching gear, matching entrance music, you play to it. I don't care if you've had one tag team match or two tag team matches. I just feel like it's the same as Kenny and Hangman. They got pushed together. There was a story within. That was a tag team.
But they were already part of a group. It's like the example that I gave you. When Austin and Taker won the titles from Mankind and Kane, were they a tag team?
Yes.
No.
yes.
No, they were not a legit tag team.
They were the tag team champions.
That doesn't matter.
What makes somebody a tag team? If you stand on the apron and you slap hands, you're a tag team. It doesn't.
Not
We're
a
not
legit
asking
tag
about
team.
the duration of them being a tag team. It's just, are they a tag team? And to the point that Dusty just made, I mean, they have a name, matching gear. They have a collaborated intro. What defines a tag team this day and age in wrestling?
They have a micro brawler. It's just been announced. It is coming. I'm going to dump my money into that. It's matching trunks, matching shirts, the Better Than You Bebe tag team package. I'm in.
I
go.
think Big Bill and Brian Cage are more of a tag team than Adam Cole and MJF.
Yeah.
I kind of
there's tag teams, and then there's thrown together tag teams for a storyline. This is one of those. they're going overboard specifically with the matching gear, with the matching the theme song and the tag name. It's purposely done to get. They want to check all the boxes to make you feel that way because it's so overboard.
Okay, but what about the Rock and Sock Connection? They're one of my favorite tag teams.
Terrible.
But they won the belts like 3 times. They were together for like half a year.
I feel like if they wanted to make them a tag team, they could be a good tag team. But
I agree.
I don't think it's gonna.
I
Who
just
knows?
don't-
Maybe down the road they'll revisit this and they'll actually be a tag team. But
I think
They may
Daniel
not be a
Bryan-
long-term tag team, but they are a tag team nonetheless. They won the tag team eliminator tournament.
But it was
That's
it
true.
was a random draw. It's no different than when WCW did Battle Bowl.
It is because those guys were never a tag team after that one night, whereas Adam Cole Bebe and Max have been. So where's your argument there, Uri?
Because it was still a random draw. They weren't put together to be. They didn't go to each other and go, "Let's enter this thing." It was a random draw.
Right, but once they fulfilled their obligation, they no longer have to be a tag team yet.
And they're
Still-
not.
they've still-
When's their next match as a tag team?
Sorry, you're stepping all over me. I mean,
When's their next match as a tag team?
whenever TK books them.
But that's remained to be seen. So if you're going to say, well, they can still team up because their obligations may not be done. Well, until that happens, they're not together.
Are Cody and Dustin a tag team?
I believe that they were a tag team in WWE. Yes.
Oh,
you
not
know,
against the Bucks?
Pardon?
I was there for that. I was there for that match. That was a really, really good match.
Well, they
love
had
that
that one match, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in my opinion, they are an established tag team because they were together for a long period of time. They won the belts. They weren't just thrown together.
Yoko and Ono? Oh, Yoko and Ono.
Yoko and Ono.
and Owen?
What?
Nope, yeah, that's more
They,
That was fun.
I never thought. I mean, they won the belts, but I put them in the same category as like a Austin and Taker. Like they did.
It's my favorite tag team. You're stomping all over my glory and all of my heart. Next thing you're going to tell me the Bucks aren't a tag team. Well, we're talking about the Bucks. They were with Kenny Omega, and they fought Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Satman Singh.
And Yoko and Owen teamed together more times than Owen and Brett did. So what does that tell you there?
I never
You
thought of Owen and Brett as a tag team. So
It's a conversation we'll be revisiting and calling back often. Let's get to this match because the greatest wrestler in AEW history really showed up. Satman Singh. Let's put it together.
yeah,
I love Adam Singh.
Tell me about it, Justin.
Adam Singh is just the best, to be honest. I don't remember anything about this match, so I'm probably the worst person to go to. I'm sure it was good.
Well, can you at least give me this? In a steel cage match, it's Great Khali, Satman Singh, and Omos. Who wins?
Oh, God.
Oh, you
The
don't
fans.
Omos. Come on, you don't know about my Omos fan. I'm the number one Omos fan.
All of a
Oh,
sudden,
my
someone
God.
comes from the crowd, rips the door open, and it's him. Giant Gonzalez is back.
Oh my god.
Or you could do a WCW finish and have what was that thing? The
The Yeti.
the Yeti.
yeah, have
The
it rip
Yeti.
the whole cage door down.
Terrible.
So needless
Never
to
speak
say,
my language right now. I hope you know.
this match was a elite match. It was all over the place. It was produced crazy. There were people popping out of everywhere. To be a ref in that match, you've got to ignore everything coming. I love it. I enjoy that. I want to see more of it. I enjoy it. They signed the contracts. They're sticking around. I'm glad to see it. Let's see what they can do with that.
What was the match? I don't even remember. All you said was Saturn. Who was in it?
Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Bucks, and Omega.
Oh, yeah.
And Hangman Adam Page came in with the second best buckshot lariat of the week.
Oh,
Oh,
wrong.
shout out Logan Paul.
Am I wrong?
No.
You're not wrong.
No, you're not.
Uri, you're an encyclopedia. Has Hangman ever done that to the ground?
The buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. When he faced, I'm sure in big matches he has, especially when he faced like Omega and stuff, and he's brought him to the ground. Oh yeah.
Do you think Logan Paul watches Hangman matches?
I don't
No.
think he watches them. I think someone told him and showed him a clip.
He
Okay.
probably doesn't know who Hangman is.
Everybody knows who Hangman is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think someone showed him Phil's buckshot Larry, and he's like, I can do that better.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can say is the only person that bleeds properly is Nick Wayne. My God, the next segment is at the Buddy Wayne Wrestling Academy. You got Swerve, you got AR, jump in the ring and smash him with a frame. What a puddle of blood. It was almost too much. What do you guys think?
So my opinion on it, and this is more as Nick Wayne as a whole, in terms of the guys that AEW brings in that they want to, that no one really knows and they want to use and maybe push, they have done amazing with Nick Wayne. Everything about him, I think, from the vignettes to his first match to this, has been awesome.
What about Hook?
I mean, he was kind of there. He got over organically. They didn't have to do a whole lot with him.
That's fair.
I will say that this tournament was pretty dark. I'm curious to see who produced that, because that was really, really dark. You know, you got Darby. Did he actually call Darby, or was it like even on the phone? Because I never heard him.
Yeah, Darby was on the phone because you could hear him talk.
Because he called Darby, and then he smashed his was his dad's picture, smashed over his head. I thought he was gonna rip that picture for a minute, because that would have been pretty. But like, that was a pretty dark segment. I really liked it. There's a different side of Swerve that we've seen, and I'm curious to see where this goes.
I'm very happy we got to see him before he got up there, because I don't think we're ever going to see him in the capacity we got to. So it's kind of awesome to watch his journey, and it's only really just begun.
I dug it. It puts a lot of sympathy for all the new fans that don't even know who Nick Wayne is from the Indies. So now you can actually, have a reason to give a shit about him. And man, AR Fox and Swerve are just looking pretty devastating right now as a tandem duo. You know what I mean? That was the whole thing I loved. Even the whole calling Darby and taunting him, and then just hanging up on him, just leaving him high and dry, not even knowing what happened to his really close buddy. I mean, the shit was awesome, guys.
That was one of my favorite moments of the entire night, besides the RVD's debut. Like, that was one of the stuff I liked of the show.
I'm saying every single episode, it's Swerve's show, man. They really are telling a great story. And I love when they put on a match that tells a story before it. Here's one that I didn't get a story for. You got Aussie Open as the champs from ROH against AAA Mega Champion El Hero de Vikingo and Commander. Came out of nowhere.
It was a match.
But it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a match. I don't watch Ring of Honor, and I don't really care to see it on Dynamite, especially the 200th episode. You couldn't have put guys that, actually built the show Dynamite on in that spot, rather than these guys that are just, recently been on TV. I don't get the placement, but that's just me.
They could have taken that match out, like put it on ROH and gave the women a little bit more time to main event, or give another segment, another match more time, or another match with people who were, like, not to diss Aussie Open, but this is the 200th episode of Dynamite, so maybe I don't know. There's probably someone on there that was from the day one AEW roster that they could have put in.
Yeah, and I'm not shitting
like Jimmy Havoc. Sorry,
I like
what?
all four of the guys, and it was a really good match. It's just for the 200th episode, you could have done way better for somebody who's actually put in the work to help build that show.
Building that show.
I gotta say that, but Aussie Open, yes, the Ring of Honor champions. But if he was looking at who was contributed into some of the biggest matches and exciting matches, Aussie Open have been part of a few really good Dynamite matches.
Ooh, you are absolutely right. That got a 5-star count on it, did it not?
there was a lot of good matches. If you go back, they were involved. Like had some good
Mhm.
stuff. So if you're looking from someone that, again, who's contributed, who's brought energy to the show over that time, would anyone be complaining backstage? Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to play on that. Let's piggyback that, because if we think El Hero de Vikingo and Kenny was one of the most watched segments, that move over the ropes right through the table was a hot spot. That went viral.
He's looking for media content, and he put on some of these guys that he knows gets the content in his other platforms, right?
And
So you're right. Yes, maybe you can say if it's talking about the pure wrestling, but he's looking at it from a media standpoint and what clips, what kind of like really 30-second clips, highlights am I going to have that I can quickly shoot all over Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever else, YouTube, right? So I
The
think
TikTok generation.
right. I think
yeah,
that's part of the bookings now.
I didn't even think about that completely, but you're absolutely right. It's getting not even ahead of the curve. It's jumping on the curve as it's happening from an in-ring perspective, which is probably what Logan Paul's trying to do, because I mean that should work for him as well, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking about the Aussie Open match?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I have two things about that match. One, why are we having Ring of Honor title matches on AEW television when there's a Ring of Honor show? And two, are Vikingo and Commander a real tag team?
Here we go.
Did they have matching outfits?
Nope, there it is. There
They
it is.
did.
They're not wearing matching outfits.
They did
They don't
not.
have matching music, and they don't have a name. Those are my three categories that I need covered.
I agree. There was a reason for Ring of Honor show, right? Like, there was one. I feel like they're trying to put some of these champions on TV to get them some exposure. Maybe they'll go watch Ring of Honor, but they did that. If Chris Jericho didn't work, I don't know, because he was the world champion. They defended the title on TV, and then he won. He had one pay-per-view on Ring of Honor. But Aussie Open is a good tag team because there's a lot of tag teams. Because you had Best Friend, you had Trent in another match. So if he was looking for a tag team match, maybe you could have done Dark Order. But I mean, I guess if you're limited tag teams, I guess Aussie Open would have been. If you were wanting to do a tag match, that is, on the show.
But
Okay, so yeah, I could figure that. You take Dark Order for no reason and put them against Vikingo and Commander, then keep the titles out of the picture. Would that work?
Yes.
But it goes back to the whole cross promotion and media, right? He's using that platform, either right or wrong, but he owns both organizations, so he's going to do a cross promotion show. It's a showcase. It's a huge episode. Showcase the guys that are exciting from his other promotion. Get them to go, hey, you know what? I'm interested in these guys. It sends them over to Ring of Honor content and gets them involved in looking at that. So right or wrong, but again, he's using it as a media platform, right? And where he can share content because he owns it all and he wants to diversify and make money from everything. So again, sometimes it doesn't make sense from a wrestling fan perspective, but maybe from a money making standpoint, it did make sense to do that, right? Because that's where it's going. It's all about the media exposure, social media.
Thinking of frozen up. I guess so. I guess I'll talk a little bit more. Yeah, it was a good match. I like Aussie Open. The match with FTR in the UK. I think it was a New Japan Strong Show or something. That was a really, really good match. Is it Aussie Open and the Young Bucks ever went against each other?
Not what show?
Yeah.
At what show?
FTR and Aussie Open.
Yes.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom. They did. Yep. Right before Ozzy got injured and had to vacate.
There was another one in the UK they did.
Was it Rev Pro?
I believe it was New Japan. It was New Japan Strong, maybe.
Oh yeah, probably.
I don't know what it was, but that was a really good match. Like that was the one that Dax Harwood had called out Tony Khan, and like we still wrestle for you, brother, type thing. But I like Aussie Open. Someone tells me once they're done with the ROH, and they're going to be going after the AEW type titles. So, but they are signed to AEW, so it's. But,
I think an Aussie Open versus a House of Black match would be good.
ooh, Will Ospreay, yeah, that would be good.
I'd watch that. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, there's some good. I think there's some good comparisons with the size and the agility and just the selling and the hard hitting. And something that I would go for. I think it'd be a pretty killer match. Anyways, I digress. Take away from that.
Well, stylistically, it would definitely be a fun one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Whereas more the FTR match, which it's already happened before, it's more technical catch as catch can. But yeah, I'm in for both. They're a fun tag team to watch, most definitely.
Yeah.
I just feel if you're the Ring of Honor tag team champions, and you made a good point earlier. Yeah, maybe TK's trying to get more eyes on Ring of Honor, and that's solid. But don't do it on your 200th anniversary of the show, where guys who helped build that show had to sit in catering.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't disagree. Don't disagree.
Now with keep having with the women in wrestling, especially in the AEW department, we kind of get what we're asking for. No, we get a main event with two of the top women beating the shit out of each other with a crazy ending.
No, 100%. I said it last week. They keep pigeonholing the women into that 9:25, 9:30 slot. And then on the biggest Dynamite of recent memory, they're in the main event. So TK kind of shut my mouth up there, eh, boys? But the thing I liked about this, I did not see the title change coming, especially with Wembley right around the corner. Why would you take the belt off of Tony? So I didn't see it coming. I liked the match, and yeah, congrats to Sheeta.
I kind of have a theory about wanting to take the title off her, because I think originally it was going to be Jamie and Saraya all in. But I think they still want Saraya at All In going for the title, so they don't want to break up the Outcast. So they take the title off of Tony, put it on Sheeta, and then Sheeta and Saraya at All In.
It's a good point. If that's the route they go, yeah, I'd watch it.
But I didn't see that title change coming at all. I thought they were taking on Tony for a little while, but it was a pretty good match, I thought.
It was a good match. I enjoy Sheeta. She's one of the AEW talent that just is old legitimate. She comes in every single time, puts on a match from Abaddon to any, like her Deeb match. I think Deeb may be my favorite female competitor in AEW history right now, because no matter, I don't like her, but she made everybody else look brilliant.
Hey, what's the date of the Wembley show? Is it all
August 27th?
August 22nd. Okay.
August 27th, a couple days before my birthday.
Nice.
We're gonna definitely be watching that one. Something that most people don't watch, but I mean, we watched half of it this week. We're going to Rampage. Starting up.
Yeah.
I lost my spot there. What did you guys think of Rampage?
What was the opener? I watched it. Just give me the matches, and then I'll tell you my opinion. I only remember the main event.
Yeah.
What was the opener?
So we run in with Limitless and the Hardys. Zay and Ethan Page on the side. Kip Sabian with the Butcher and the Blade.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a match. We're not going to go into much of this because we all watched one match off of this.
I have a thought on a segment that was on range, though. I have a thought on the Swerve segment.
Yeah.
You have a spot for Swerve? We'll get to him.
Oh, they had
Bucks backstage made a challenge.
Yep.
So what are we going to get? A little Hardy dancing?
Yeah. Which Hardys and Young Bucks went against each other one time in AEW, right? Double or Nothing 2022. Hardys won the first one, so I'd assume the Young Bucks will win this one. But I'm excited for that match. Like a lot of people like to compare the Hardys to the Private Party, but I think the Young Bucks fit the Hardys, like because just they're actual brothers and they wrestle
Mhm.
pretty recklessly in all their matches. So I'm looking forward to that.
Is this next week?
Yeah, this next Wednesday.
Yeah, they're doing it on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah, the last time that they had a match, it was a good match. I feel like it was cut short because Jeff was wrestling injured at the time, or he just wasn't himself.
Injured.
Yes, well, quote unquote.
Laser beam.
Yeah, he wasn't well. Let's just put it that way, boys.
I think around that time he had his match against Darby, and after that match, he wasn't the same.
No, he really wasn't. So hopefully we get the potential that we know that they can all live up to with the match on Dynamite.
Or is it going to be an absolute slobber fest as it has been? Moving on, we'll talk about slobber fests. Another women's match. It's Anna Jay versus Sky Blue. Kind of didn't really watch it, but I watched it.
It's Battle of the Asses, best asses in AEW.
Moving on, we get actual fun commentary for this one. We had Paul White, the Big Show, back in town with Tony Schiavone.
Giovanni.
That was a fun way to start her up. I love Paul White when he's got his charisma up. He's fun. All right, now we're going to you, Justin, because we've got Swerve and AR Fox versus Logan Cruz and Tyshawn Perez.
So my main thought on this isn't so much the match itself. It kind of ties into the segment from Dynamite. I really like that AR Fox came out wearing the shirt that still had all the blood on it.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, because it was the segment before. They just taped it all in one go.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well,
that's actually a good little spot. You got to think that putting in the time on that one. I dig it. I listened to AR Fox on Talk is Jericho today. It's got a pretty interesting backstory. He had a big part in training Austin Theory as well.
Yeah,
he sure did.
WWE.
Pretty much all the Atlanta guys, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice that he's getting that spot. I love his voice, how gravelly it is, man.
Yeah, I like when guys get their flowers when they're still active, and it's not when they're becoming a producer or a trainer or, God forbid, passed away. So yeah, I like it. Good for AR Fox. Yeah. Keep it coming.
So then we move along to the reason why we watched Rampage. Thanks for putting it at the end. We go ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley versus the Best Friends. Let's get a little more Beretta in there. Cool thing about this is when this was on, I actually was wearing the same shirt as Chuck, and I was like, yes! Because you get these AEW shirts, and they're done within the first week. They move on to their next shirt. But he was wearing one from, would have been a year ago at the end of the month.
Which one?
It's the one where they're the four best friends as skeletons on the front, and on the back it's got them all standing up, all hanging out, but they're all skulls.
Right, yes.
So this was a fun match. I watched it with the kid because why wouldn't I? Insane spot, putting the guardrail on the doors. It looked unstable. They knew it was unstable. They got the best out of it. A lot of stupid, I want to jump on Matt's side with the fork use, because when you're overusing something like this, and I get it, it's a shout out to Abby, but it seems to just be there for no reason. Like the screwdriver with Bryan Danielson had a purpose because he pulls it out, it's coming. No, he's pulling this fork out at the start of the match and starts stabbing, and I'm like, All right, Mox. I think you're doing it just to piss us off now, but still want to watch.
Yeah.
Any spots in this match that got you guys going?
The guardrail attached to the 2-car doors, that was pretty unique. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That was pretty badass. I mean, all the other stuff, I mean, we've seen in how many parking lot brawls and whatever, hood work, trunk work, going through the windshields, things like that.
Yeah.
It was a good
I
match.
really-
It was a bloodbath for Rampage, which was surprising.
I
The
thought
nice,
sorry.
I'll
Go
say the
ahead.
nice touch that I liked at the beginning, before the Best Friends even came out, with John Moxley going through all the trunks looking for Orange Cassidy.
You're looking for the small details, the little details. I like that. I did not notice it.
I thought the curb stomp on the door was done well and looked real dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like looked really gang style of like smashing teeth. And I was like, oh, yeah. So that was a harsh one. Like they sold out one well for sure. It looked like it hurt. Really, everything looked like it hurt.
I really like
Flaming barbed wire 2x4.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The 2x4, which he lit it on fire a little bit, didn't he? He didn't get it. It reminded me of Terry Funk. Years ago, I went to Terry Funk versus Jerry Lawler. Terry Funk took the barbed wire with the fire on it and lit Jerry Lawler on fire. So it's like to see. So it's pretty funny seeing Chuck Taylor do it.
The part I started laughing because he keeps lighting it up, and it reminds me of giving one of the kids a birthday cake, and you light out the candle, and it gets blown out, and you're still trying to keep it lit. You're holding it over just for the one hit.
Yeah, it seemed like he had a little trouble doing that for a minute. He got it eventually, though.
Yeah, it served its spot. It wasn't the exploding ring, so I still enjoyed it. Following this, we get what Matt was mentioning, the curb stomp, and then we see the pin 1, 2, 3, and then rather than end it, they decide to just destroy this van.
Yeah.
Sue's van.
Like now she's an Uber driver on ROH shows. So if anybody needs a ride from the hotel, she'll get you there. I
was going to say, if this was in the Attitude Era, they would have done some kind of move on Susan, on the mom. They would have like put her through or done something.
Mae Young style.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now with this ending, right after I watched it with my son, he was confused because he'd seen clips of the original. So I immediately went into Daily Motion and I started hunting. I found the match and we watched that back. So I went back to back versus Santana and Ortiz, which is one of my favorite AEW matches there are. It's definitely top 5, could be in the top 3. Where do you guys think that this fared up against?
It was good, but it wasn't as good as the original. It was a sequel, but the sequel didn't live up to the first one.
Nice. Ninja Turtles.
Hold on, no, the second Ninja Turtle movie is the best one.
It didn't even have Casey Jones. What are you talking about?
Second Ninja Turtle movie is the best one. Don't even tell me otherwise. Won't accept it.
Minus the Vanilla Ice and Kevin Nash spot, not a chance.
Hey,
Where is
Santana Ortiz these days? Is someone injured or just
from what we got from the dirts is we got Santana and Ortiz didn't want anything to do with each other. Santana was severely injured. He's out for a while. Ortiz tried to do things with Eddie. There was a tease for Malachi to pick him up. Then he just went away.
Yeah.
Lately, we've been hearing that they are getting back together and we will see them together. I'm starting to kind of think that if Jericho goes with Callis, then he brings the Proud and Powerful with him.
Actually, after
Interesting.
Broken News, everyone, I made a comment to a dirt sheet, and everyone started taking my comment at it, and then they went and researched it, and it was true. AEW had taken off Santana and Ortiz's Proud and Powerful thing on their roster page. Then they it was just Santana and Ortiz. Then when they update the roster, they're now known as Proud and Powerful again. And then everyone ran with it. I know Santana tore his ACL in 2022's Blood and Guts. Then him and Ortiz had some. I think Santana and Kingston got into a backstage altercation, if I'm not mistaken. I want Proud and Powerful back. The tag team division isn't the same. Like, they should have won those tag titles a long time ago.
Yes.
I hope they still can.
And I think this would be the perfect time. Let FTR hold those titles and let Proud and Powerful. I always mix it up, but Santana Ortiz, LAX 2.0. Leave it alone.
I think depending on where Full Gear, depends on when Proud and Powerful comes back. Because those two teams have history, FTR and Proud and Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What if they brought back Conan as the manager and kind of had that if they're going to come back? You guys are talking about their old name and the LAX.
Yeah, but then you have Eddie Kingston show up, and then he brings back the original LAX, and then we do the same thing we saw at Slammiversary.
And then Homicide.
I'm okay with seeing it again. Run it back. It was good the first time.
Right, that was actually the first time I got introduced to Eddie Kingston, was that Slammiversary. I didn't know who he was until that.
Oh, no. He's been around.
What?
We're all around to watch Collision next.
Best show of the week.
It's pretty consistent. It's riding the wave upward based on the matrix I saw for viewership. It smells pretty good that people are starting to catch on that it's actually a good show. It's not just a gimmick. So hopefully they keep going in this direction. We definitely get it with that tag team championship match. Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood. What a match.
That was a good hard-hitting match. Brian Cage, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. This guy biased for me to say it, but he looked pretty good in that match with the that's to where he added the face paint.
So what is with this outfit? This gimmick he's got going? He kind of looks he's supposed to be a road warrior, but then he also looks like he's got like a scorpion on the side. Like it's
a lot of
it's kind of paying homage to Surfer Sting. He brought it out in their one match, and just been busting it out ever since.
Wow. Has Brian Cage ever been in a match where they've been chanting "This match is awesome" or "This is awesome"? Because they did in that match.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. It's absolutely true. They started going, and I swear, Bill is confused as hell, and he started looking for Enzo because he hasn't heard it in a while either.
I'm glad he's finally found his place. He's had a lot of personal issues. His DDP yoga documentary thing was really good. I'm glad he's finally able to get something going for him.
So, match finishes. Of course, FTR finishes them with the Shatter Machine. Awesome. They grab the mics, and they make the challenge. So after Bucks and Hardys, we go back to Bucks and FTR at Wembley. Let's go.
Sign me up.
Let's go right now. Let's go. 27th comes sooner. Holy shit. I want to watch that match again.
We're finally starting to get a card, boys. I'm excited.
Then we run over to the Mercedes, Martinez, Chris Statlander kind of building story. Like, I think in our last pod, we talked a lot about what we would need for a women's division to get the ship righted. We're on the third show. We've seen pretty good matches. We had the Battle of the Asses. You had a main event championship swerve finish. And now we're looking at Mercedes Martinez and Chris Statlander, which ends up bringing up what I kept talking about, story. End of the match, Mercedes attacks Chris. We end up seeing Willow coming in. Then you also have Diamante. Everybody's back. Everybody's getting into everybody's business. Now we have some people to start storylines. I think we're starting to see something pushed in the right direction.
Yeah. At least for Collision, it seems like they've got a progressing story. This is 3 weeks now. We was it Mercedes and Kira Hogan. And this week we had Statlander and Mercedes. I'm glad that Statlander won the match, but they're continuing the feud because normally after a championship match, they're done with it. Like they're not continuing anything.
Moving on, yes. Business as usual.
I thought. Do you remember, guys? I brought up a point when we talked about, and you said what's needed to, I guess, to make the women's division exciting, or what needs to change.
Yes.
Tag teams is what you said, Matt. You wanted them to set up.
I think so. I think this would be a great stage. I don't know if it's too late or if they could fit in, but this would be a great platform to introduce. Whoever wins there's a small little tournament, and you crown the new champions at Wembley. I mean, it's a massive platform for it. It'd be huge, but I don't know if it's
And you know what? If we're actually talking about it, the one thing Collision doesn't have is actual titles. They've got a couple of them, but they're the same length. They're not really running the ROH mold titles. So if we're going to use tag team titles exclusive to Collision, I'm in. Don't make it confusing and jump them all over the brand. But keep it with Collision. I'm okay with it.
I think they would have to cross over because there's just not enough women to make enough tag teams as just to keep them on Collision. Kind of like even in WWE, right?
I think there's enough. If there's not, you can go sign Masha. Is she Impact exclusive? Who knows? There's lots of women that are waiting to get a spot.
What about the main? They can sign.
Nobody wants her there. No,
they do.
Bother. What's the tall girl? Breezy, help me out, from GCW.
Steph Lander.
No.
Yeah.
The one that does the hardcore matches.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to revisit on her and catch her name.
I can't think of her name right now.
There's unbelievable talent all over the place. You can pick any city and pull one out. That you can build something small without spending anything.
Oh, it's Sawyer, right? Sawyer. Right?
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I just had to think about it for a second. Sorry, boys.
No, you caught me. Thank you. From there, we have the match. We have a continuous, and then we go even further in, and Tony Schiavone's interviewing former world champion Tony Storm. I'm still liking her gimmick. She immediately comes back strong. I'm liking her acting like she's a bigger star, and it hurts her, but she doesn't care. She's still going to slap the tits off the next person.
Well, she's probably making more money still from her OnlyFans than she is from her actual wrestling contract.
I mean, aren't you? From here, we walk over to the masked man himself, Serpentico, versus Joe. Match of the week, guys. It was unbelievable. There was give and take throughout. This is where we start challenging the idea of Punk. Do we want a Punk versus Joe at Wembley?
Yes, we do.
I would just see it.
I was mad that they wasted the third one on TV. I told you guys that when they did it in the ONR. That's too big of a match to just give away on TV. And the fact that we're now going to get it on Wembley and hopefully within a allotted amount of time for them to truly, show what they're capable of doing. Look at their previous matches in Ring of Honor. We all know what they can do on a larger stage, bigger forum. So I'm all for it. And if it ends up being for this real world championship, not to get ahead of the rest of the show, Dusty, I'm all about it.
Their first Well, the first match in AEW was the Owen Hart tournament. They didn't get much time because
No.
obviously on TV you're always going to face time restrictions. Obviously on a pay-per-view like All In, you'd get more time with it. I'll talk about my conclusion to that once we get to a match coming up next week.
Fair. Here's my question. Who goes over in a Punk versus Joe at Wembley?
If
Punk.
it's for the title, it's got to be CM Punk, right?
Does it have
Probably
to? Does it?
I think so.
I think he should have to chase it. And
He's
who
the
better to
face of-
chase?
Sorry, not to interrupt you. He's the face of Collision, and you're still building Collision. And if you want to legitimize this real world championship, he's got to have a run with it.
Yeah, he's going to get beat up first, right? So it's like then you kind of feel that it's warranted because he's going to get destroyed. Smo Joe's going to come in and teach him a lesson or sneak on him and do something. So that's just going to fuel it. So it'll feel better if when CM Punk wins because he gets like destroyed like the week before.
Okay. But I mean, maybe I'm brainwashed from the old WWE style. Swerve, bro. Who would expect Punk to lose? I think that would make a bigger pop. I mean, we saw that. Did we not see that with Joe and Nakamura?
Yeah, but CM Punk just lost to Ricky Starks. You know,
Yeah.
like that was a big one. Even though I know
Matches.
he came back to win afterwards, but that was pretty surprising. And then Punk, he's lost a couple, right? Didn't he lose one too?
Lost,
I don't think he's going to lose at Wembley.
I do think this is going to be the first time Punk bleeds since coming back. I think it's going to be a hard-hitting match, a lot more back and forth than their Collision match.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Just a question for you guys on this. Kind of, what is your ring style preference? Do you like the announcer table by the ring, like they do in Collision, kind of like what they do with like Raw, or do you like up on the ramp and they're out the way?
I'm indifferent. I mean, it's a throwback to the old WCW when they're up on the stage. So I kind of like that. But I think I'm more used to it being ringside, and I like that it can be more interacted with when it's at ringside, personally. But I don't mind when it's on the stage.
I like it on top of the roof. Able to see everything. No, I'm playing.
You know-
I like the way Collision and Dynamite does it. Two different layouts. But personally, I like by the ring.
I liked it on Rampage in the parking lot brawl where they weren't there.
I'm
No.
kind of indifferent on it too. I'd rather. Like, I wouldn't even care if they didn't even have any on ringside and they were just doing it in a booth backstage. It doesn't have any effect on me either way.
Yeah, most of the time I'm going to be serious with it. I think back to my favorite commentary teams, and it's always been ringside. You've got JR and Jerry Lawler. Then you go back to Vince and Macho Man, and everybody is sitting right at the ringside, and you get a view of them every once in a while, and the people interacting behind that, and then somebody goes through, and that's a whole nother stage to play with rather than be bringing them all the way up to the Titantron.
Something I did like about that.
Do you guys remember going, like you mentioned those two different setups, but do you remember the setup from like a Saturday night's main event? Almost like they do it from the announce booth, like up into the stands. Like
Yes. Gorilla and Jesse the Body.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved that.
Me too. They really kind of kept it out of the way. So the cool, the image behind them was like looking down at the ring behind them, which was such a cool angle. But those voices were so huge that you didn't need to see them. Like Jesse's was amazing, and a great color commentator. But yeah, that was another setup that you forget that was actually I think one of the main ones for back in that time in the 80s for WWE.
No, that's a good show. That's one of my all-time favorites. Even those really early WrestleManias where they're really high up almost in the rafters, and you see the ring and the entire like stadium behind them. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I loved it.
Yeah.
Good question. Another question I have, is he done? Because I'm a NAS man. Bow, bow. Is he done? Are we carrying around the boots? Are we dragging it out? Is it a storyline, or are we actually allowed to say goodbye yet?
Yeah, Wembley.
But
That'll be the biggest farewell for sure.
I know it's stupid and it seems very Saudi Arabia style,
Oh no.
but is Road Dogg working right now?
Yes, he is.
Just WWE is.
Yeah, he's backstage at NXT.
Okay.
I'm in. Don't even tell me your ID. I'm already in.
Oh,
Just give me a, oh, you didn't know at
this was
Wembley?
talked
Oh
about.
my God.
But what I
This was
have
talked
heard, for the right price, you might be able to book Bart Gunn.
Like there was a rumor that
What's Chucky doing?
that AEW wanted X-Pac in AEW, but he wanted to get back in the ring and train for a few months before he got back in the ring. So maybe X-Pac does something with Billy Gunn.
No, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I remember he was training because he wanted a Rumble spot like 2 or 3 years ago. So why not?
Yeah, because
That's one guy I would love to see in an AEW arena.
his final match was GCW, wasn't it?
Yeah, he faced
Yeah,
he did.
he had a GCW match.
In which Cardona burned the Hasbro 1-2-3 kid.
Did he?
Cinema.
Yep.
One of the most expensive, hard to find figures, and he's such a collector, and he set it on fire before he came out. I had to turn it off at that point. It hurt.
You know, like WWE should have done like kind of like the Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love, but you got 1-2-3 Kid, you got X-Pac, and you got Sean Waltman. That'd have been pretty funny. They would have done that.
That would have been fun. I agree. So now we look at the AEW World Trios Championship open house match. Stipulation is where Julia does not come ringside. That kind of sucks. But I think it would have been fun for her at ringside. I don't even know if she's still with him, but it was Malachi Buddy Brody versus Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and Lee Johnson.
It was good. It was actually
Yeah, on
really
her way out, she actually said the camera cut it very literally. She's like, "You ain't getting any tonight." She melted to Lee as she got escorted out.
Wait, who is she with? Who's together?
She's with Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Outside of kayfabe, boys, in real life.
Yeah. Pull back the curtain. Oh,
Well, yeah,
what do you see?
He said you ain't getting any tonight, and I died.
That's kind of funny. I love that. Yeah, the whole match was actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting much, but I like the way Collision gives time to the quote-unquote enhancement, because that's what it was.
Yeah,
But I do like it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like the House of Black, they were into it. Like they did not treat these guys like they were the second tier guys at all. Like they were giving it. Maybe they appreciated the extra effort, but they all made them look good. Everybody made each other look good. So I was actually really impressed with this match, the intensity, and how serious House of Black treated the match. Which it could have been a squash match, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, they gave them everything they could, and that's like the whole building this other brand. They're bringing in these guys, see who can take that shine, and I kind of like that they're doing it.
And they had matching outfits, matching gear.
Yeah. No, I did see that, and I did see that. The one thing, it still bothers me when teams get mashed together, especially 3-man, 4-man. It drives me wild if they have no reason to be tagging. And it's an open house match, so it makes sense, but bullshit. However, we are getting the House of Black versus CMFTR for the World Trios Championships next week on Collision. So we're going to get it. This is going to be interesting. They're going to have a fun time. I think it will, you got to finish with Joe before you move on to stuff, and you got the Bucks coming up, so FTR just doing something, but this could really turn into a collision-only type segment. So
this is what I was waiting for. I think Joe's going to cost him this match because CM Punk's obviously not acknowledging Joe, and Joe's going to be acknowledged, so he's going to have to get his attention. So.
oh, that's fun. I like that. That's how it's going to happen. We just got a spoiler for the next episode of Collision. Expect to see Joe, Connor says.
No, don't quote me if you don't.
Yeah. If it's not right, if it is, it's breaking news. Let's go.
But that seems the way it would have to be because Joe's not going to be ignored. And when he gets mad, he gets pretty mad. Especially his TNA days. I don't expect this match is going to be really, really good. I think because this is one of the matches I've been looking forward to on Collision once they had the posters and everything. Even Brody Kingston, the one team that they wanted to go against is CMFTR. Should be
which will be good. From there, we run into Tony Schiavone backstage with Powerhouse Hobbs. The reason I bring this is another guy I'm waiting to get pushed. I have another person I want to talk about. We get QT and Harley trying to make a case for themselves, but it ends up turning sour when Powerhouse Hobbs says, I don't want your help, and I damn sure don't need your help. I like him alone. Let's let him be alone. Bring back the book of Hobbs.
Yeah, I agree. Keep him far away from this QTV stuff. I mean, there's a spot for the QTV, but
yes,
Hobbs doesn't need to be in it.
No, I agree. There is a spot. Put somebody that doesn't already have multiple pushes to make him good. Just let him be. Give him the Miro treatment, if you will.
I wouldn't mind seeing Miro versus Hobbs.
All right, let's hear Justin pipe up. After commercial break, we came back, and it was the TNT champion, Christian Cage, or wait, Luchasaurus. Oh, wait. Now, before you jump in here, Justin, I had this come into my phone in 7 different groups. This promo was vicious. The things he used were hella funny. Go ahead, Justin. What do you think?
I mean, so before I go, I'm going to comment on the last thing. I think they already are giving Powerhouse Hobbs the Miro treatment. But anyways,
okay.
I mean, when he told the kid his
daughter, right?
I lost it.
Yeah, his daughter. That's the
funniest thing ever. I mean, Christian and Luchasaurus, like that. My favorite act in AEW. They're the best, and Christian doesn't give a shit about anyone, even his own child, and I love it.
I want to actually recite it. The child, his daughter, says, "Can I have your belt? Did you win this belt? You did not win this belt. Nobody touches this belt except for me. Go find your mother. I am the TNT champion now and forever. Do you understand me?"
It's good.
Christian's doing all right. Like, at first, when he got to AEW, I will admit it, I was a little bit disappointed, just a bit. They had such a big push of who's coming, and then it turned out to be Christian, and I was like, there could have been so many other people. Since he's been there, it's been good.
Can we also point out that his kid was the same kid that Jack Perry used as a shield on Dynamite?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It was definitely fun for me, and I can't wait to see more of the TNT champion, Christian Cage. Guy I haven't seen for a bit, Metalik versus Switchblade, Jay White. It's the bang bang. Throw him up. Good match. It was what it was. It was a Jay White push. We're going to have to go right past it. There's no chance Metalik was getting anywhere with it. I like the use of Lucha guys everywhere throughout. I I want to see it. It always made me happy in the WCW days, so keep going. Then we go to the main event. CM Punk, Ricky Starks. I want to get Connor to give me a little taste on this one because you're such a Punk diehard. Go ahead. Tell me about what you felt.
Well, CM Punk, Ricky Starks. The special enforcer was Ricky Starks. I mean, Ricky Steamboat, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I like how they used him in that. As Punk's story, it looked like he was a little bit of locker room leader. He was giving a speech to everyone. I know some legends do that. Do you know who Coco Beware is?
Yes.
Everywhere he goes, he gives a speech everywhere he goes. Some legends are like that. I thought the match was probably Punk's best match since coming back.
Yeah, I could back that.
Coming back to wrestling, but his run right now. Really good back and forth match. Crowd was hot. Pretty split crowd. See, let's go Punk, let's go Starks. Then we get I knew this was going to happen. The referee go down, and then Ricky Starks having to come. I'm getting confused. Ricky Steamboat coming in and having to make the count because there was a reason. Like there's no way he would just be on the outside the whole match. So Stephon Smith, the referee in that match, gets taken down. Ricky Steamboat comes in and gets to 1, 2, 3, and then after the match is what shocked me. Ricky Starks whooping Ricky Steamboat with his belt, his own belt. He took Ricky Steamboat's belt and whooped him with it, which was pretty. It's kind of like Ricky Starks is the legend killer in AEW, kind of disrespected Justin Thunder Liger and beats up a legend. I thought it was a pretty good match.
And you're never gonna get more over than going and saving Ricky Steamboat, who's getting whipped. Like, I mean, if they were trying to get people that were swaying on Punk, you're the savior, Ricky Steamboat. Like, who else? Who else isn't as beloved as Ricky Steamboat, right? So
you're not wrong.
Right? It's huge.
You're not wrong at all. He's definitely. I wish there was more build to him coming, just because it's Ricky. But using him well in the match made it worth it. All in all, Punk ends up keeping the title. We knew it. I didn't really believe they were going to put the title on Ricky as much as I think he's due for something good. It wasn't time.
He's
okay, so is it about being recognized then?
I was just going to say that. Is it a legit belt now?
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, it feels like the FTW. Like, I mean, it is recognized, but not really a belt that AEW recognizes.
So you mean like the X Division champion?
It's got quotations on the graphic, boys. So
yeah, it does.
It's the real World's Championship with quotations. But the match was good. They got a decent amount of time. I mean, none of us thought that Punk was going to lose, obviously, but I thought Ricky looked good against him. He held his own, and he's proven more and more that he could be, one of those main event players.
And I like that they didn't really bury Ricky Starks in this feud because he did pick up a win over CM Punk and Owen Hart. So I like how CM Punk, he looked good in this feud. Now, after this feud, he can go, I don't know where they're going to put him.
Yeah, and to your point, Connor, he put over the young talent coming up in Ricky Starks. The old Punk would have just won 100-0, and he went more, I don't know, 60-40. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it wasn't all dominated by.
Yeah, no, it could have been considered 50-50. It was close to it.
Yeah, I like that.
It did look like a match where Punk cared about keeping the competition rised up and the characters rise up, the popularity rised up, and it wasn't all about him because, I'm a kind of take it or leave it on Starks, but I can see that there's a lot of fans who are invested in him. He's over, whether a heel or face, he seems to be over to a large amount of fan base, and he's obviously done something right because, again, if a Punk is going to put you over, and like you said, 50-50, that's not a little ask, you know what I mean? And that's for Punk's ego. So that to me just shows that he is caring about the show. He is caring about the ratings. He's caring about the rest of the roster. or at least some of the roster.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's-
definitely
It's
some.
one less thing that the haters can pick on Punk about because he's not just putting himself over. So
Yeah.
that's what I love about it. I hate that I had to step away when you guys talked about the Bang Bang Gang. I mean, still guns up, and my boy Switchblade, taking care of that cardboard cutout. That was a nice little touch.
Again, Juice Robinson, just give him a damn microphone. When they gave them the bags, I was dying. The guns are like, well, how do we open this? There's a zipper. They open it up. I was dying when they got the commentary headset.
Everybody's working in that group. That's what I love about it too. It's nobody's outshining the other one, and
I think they're playing together well. Yes,
they really are.
This might be a hot take, but I think that the Bullet Club Gold is what the NWO could and should have been. Like these four guys, they've got it. They've got and like the Guns and White and
Rockhart.
Wilson haven't been together really, really long, and they've got really good chemistry so far.
It just popped in. I know when you guys had or we were talking about a comparison of Juice Robinson to somebody. I can't remember. Macho Man? Did you say? Yeah. I just came to mind is kind of like crazy Brian Pillman.
Yes.
I can see
Like,
What
that's
a
good.
show.
You know, when you the crazy, right? So I was like, yes, that kind of reminds me.
I love that, Matt.
I couldn't think of it right till now until we brought it up. I'm like, that's who it kind of remind me of.
As we begin to wind down, I just want to mention somebody. I don't know why he's not on yet. I think they're just building for his return. But Wardlow.
Yeah.
Look at the people who are champs.
Where is
Okay? You got MJF on one side, which he's beaten. And on the other side, he was due a championship match against Punk. And he said he doesn't want it unless it's against Punk. Now Punk's a champion. This would be the perfect time for him to walk in and screw. Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has a piece for that belt. I mean, you got Samoa Joe. Ricky could have taken that belt off of him. They're probably going to hold it on him past Chicago. But what if it happens around Chicago?
Wardlow,
Take the belt off of Punk.
yeah, I can see. I wonder how long Wardlow's going to be out because I knew he had some. Was it someone broke in his car and took his passport, and he was It's kind of funny that Luchasaurus wasn't supposed to win the TNT title. None of this was going to happen. Wardlow was supposed to win, but
Yep.
hopefully,
where's Wardlow? Where's Wardlow right now?
it was Toronto. Someone broke into his. I'm guessing this is someone broke into his car and stole his passport or something.
I think it was well before that. I'm pretty sure.
They did an ankle, didn't they, on TV? Didn't they?
Yeah, that was with
That's when
Hobbs.
That's when
Yeah,
Hobbs
because they
won.
determined that was kayfabe. Yeah, that was part of the story.
Yeah.
No,
It's
this
legitimate,
happened
though.
again. This actually happened to him in Canada, which gave him a whole hell of a lot of issues getting back home, missing a bunch of shows in Canada, and pretty much being off TV, all because of jurisdictions with his passport.
I know
That's unfortunate. If that's the case, I haven't heard that at all.
I've heard it like from 3 different sources, yeah.
Will Fightful reported that he was stuck in Canada for a while. He couldn't go home.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets. I know he said he was in an interview that he was very depressed. He wasn't on TV.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Hopefully,
Would you repackage him again or just kill off this whole Arn Anderson thing?
I'm over. I don't really care. I don't even miss him actually. Like he was so hot when he was with MJF, and like, you know, the way he's getting treated, and people couldn't wait for him to turn and finally smash MJF, and that was like, that to me was the highlight of him. Now it just,
and it's one of those balls that are dropped. I absolutely think they dropped it on him. I think they've dropped it on Hobbs twice. Hell, they've dropped it on Wardlow twice. The pass of the TNT title has been ridiculous. It was strong for so long, and now it's just like whoever the big guy is that's carrying it now.
I think
At least Christian's putting his name on it.
Yeah.
I think when Wardlow comes back, he doesn't even need to be anywhere TNT championship. He needs to go into maybe a few feuds without a championship to give him some steam again, to get him back going. Then it really is a big man problem in AEW. There's a lot of big men that doesn't get, like Hobbs, Wardlow. That doesn't really, they don't have a good booking system with the big men.
So, I mean, okay, so you bring him back at Wembley. He attacks Joe, gives Punk the win. He goes after Punk to say that was so that you kept the belt so I can come for you in Chicago. And then it's Wardlow, and then Wardlow wins the belt. Hey, Matt's happy.
So you would want Wardlow as the face?
No, heel.
Okay.
Basically come and attack Joe because he wants the title shot.
Yes. And he said it, I want Punk. And Punk was one of those guys that he was going to in the back room, and he was a big Punk supporter during all of the hoopla.
Do you think that ever, as a, if an MJF ever did like get back to that real heel turn, and all of a sudden Wardlow comes back and he's actually working with MJF again? I mean, is that even I think it could be even a possibility? Like that's, like joined, because that'd be so random. People would not expect that. But that to me was such a good duo.
What's old is new again. I mean, it happened back in the day with Shawn Michaels and Diesel, so I wouldn't rule it out.
What's old is new.
Yeah, I like Dusty's idea though. I like that because Punk and Wardlow want to get together one time, and Wardlow had the match won, which that was because MJF he didn't win,
But then he had a title shot before the hoopla, and he came into the ring and said, I'm not coming for that belt unless it's on Punk, so I'll wait for him to return type thing. So he gave away a championship. I think that was the whole thing, is that they were really building him at that moment, and it's funny to see how a little fight between a couple of wrestlers could have such a ripple effect over the industry.
yeah.
All right, so as we are coming to the end, another good show. Nice to see the boys. Check us out at All Elite Zone. We've got a lot of reviews of the show live and in action. Jump in there and get on the chats. Check out the video that was just posted recently with Ahmed Johnson. And you know where we'll be next week. Come on back. Where we're cold, up north, AEZ. Thanks, boys.
Comes up.
Have a good week, guys. Good.